Hi everyone, my name is Archie and I'm here with Samvad. I am here to tell you a very interesting story which was shared to me by a dear friend of mine, Aditi. I hope you like the story. My younger sister left for college in Bangalore about 3 weeks ago, leaving the rest of us in Delhi. I used to tell her how I'd have all the room to myself and laugh when she'd leave. But honestly, I cried so much when she actually did. My sister is deaf. I was 6 years old when I learned this. Initially, I was jealous of her because my parents showered more attention on her. My accomplishments seemed insignificant. That used to irritate me. I wanted them to love me the way they loved her. It took me a while to grasp what this meant and how my sister was unique. But it didn't matter because by then I loved her regardless and felt the need to protect her. I recall going to doctor's appointments with her and holding her hand while our parents spoke with the doctors. Even though she couldn't hear, I knew she understood everything I said to her. Soon my parents called in a teacher to teach us all sign language. Others could also now converse with her. We used to do all of the things that siblings do together. We used to fight because she irritated me. Although, what irritated me the most was how she was treated differently by our relatives. When our maternal aunt and her family visited, they made fun of her for sitting down to watch a movie. How can she understand something she can't hear? I felt terrible. Growing up, I also had the impression that sometimes our parents didn't understand her either. She attended a different school, and if she was ever late, they would panic. But I knew she was safe and would return soon. I never understood why she had to attend a different school back then. She was intelligent and creative. We had a pet dog when we were kids, and it was especially fond of my sister. They would spend most of their time in the house, and we would go all to the park. They would spend most of their time in the house, and we would all go to the park together in the evenings. Sometimes, my friends would refuse to make her play with us because she could not understand the game. So she used to sit in the corner with our dog. I wanted to take her somewhere far away from where everybody would be kind to her. It's not that my sister didn't have friends, she had them. They used to get together every weekend and have fun. In fact, because of her, I've always felt more connected to and compassionate towards people with disabilities. Even though people mocked her and called her names, she managed to teach me a lot about life. Through the years, where we lived changed, but not much did within our relationship. When our dog died a few years ago, I remember her crying and experiencing all of the grief emotions. I wonder why people assumed she never understood anything. Life was unfair to her, and I saw her frequently feeling neglected by others. She realized at a young age that she was unique because not everyone was kind to her. People from her own family made her feel disconnected. Despite this, I'm grateful that my parents were supportive and gradually began to treat her like a normal child. They encouraged her to be self-sufficient because they recognized the importance of it. They would allow her to go out, to meet her friends, or take the metro. Of course, we were all a little concerned until we saw her back home safely. But we did what had to be done. We used to go out to eat pizza together. I recall being in a restaurant where one of the serving staff was deaf and she interacted with him in sign language. It appeared they both made a new friend. So last year, when she decided that she wants to go to Bangalore and do a course, it was a difficult time in the family. My father was adamantly opposed, and my mother was distraught at the prospect of her departure. I recall she cried the entire night and did not speak to them for days. While the family was at war, I was torn between feeling protective of her and supporting her in the quest for freedom. But then I decided to back her up and spoke to my parents. They decided to let her go after many hours of deliberation. My relatives were shocked and embarrassed by my parents' decision to send their different child to another city. My parents' primary concern should have been how to get her married later in life, not how to educate her. It makes me so sad to see society treat disabled people as well as their caregivers so differently. We all took breaks from our lives and we all went to drop our little one off to the campus. And we made sure she had proper living arrangements. We asked her to video call us at least twice a day whenever she feels like it. Like I said, it has been 3 weeks and she's settling fine. There were certain issues, like she told me how the guard did not understand her sign language and got irritated when she asked for directions. But I'm sure she's strong enough to manage all of it. On the brighter side, she also told me how her roommate welcomed her and is trying to learn sign language for her. I've always felt protective of her, and seeing her leave me to study independently in a big city is both difficult but liberating. I've been processing my emotions for weeks, but I decided to write it down because I was missing her so much that I went to the same restaurant to eat pizza and encountered the deaf servicing staff. I greeted him and he was gracious enough to inquire about my sister. So, while I believe that some people will not understand the nuances of a disability and will not be kind to them, humanity still exists and one can always hope. Thank you.